Kime means pa, the expression of explosiveness. Ooh, that went through my heart. I felt it in my heart and in my stomach and even in my testicles. Welcome guys to the 12 things I have learned about Hardstyle Kettlebell Training. It was a very illuminating journey. It still is. So let's dive right into it. Grüezi dran, Gregory Angie here. Before we get started, I want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. We have seen some incredible growth in the last couple of weeks. But it's not only the growth of our YouTube channel. Also what I see is this beautiful community of kettlebell enthusiasts that we are building. I can see in the comments how you guys are answering to each other, replying to each other, helping each other out, being passionate about the kettlebell. This is exactly what I want to build. So I'm really flattered and humbled, and I want to thank you for watching and being a part of this awesome Lebe community. So let's get right into it. Number one of the 12 things that I've learned from Hardstyle Kettlebell Training is Louka Kurcer from Kettlebell Hardstyle Pro. My brother from another mother is an awesome coach. I'm listening to what Louka is saying. I am applying his methodology, his teachings. And he's not only a very thoughtful and a very intelligent man, but also a very humble dude. So Louka, if you're watching this, thank you so much for sharing the secrets of Hardstyle. This is something that elevated my kettlebell game and Angie's game. In fact, everybody that's connected to Lebe will be elevated through the Hardstyle and the ideology. So the only thing that Louka is not doing right now is I told him he's not making enough content. Louka, please upgrade your game. You know why, brother? I already told you. You and I, Louka, we're both shepherds. And we got to take care of the flock because there's many wolves out there. So if you're looking for a Hardstyle kettlebell coach, Louka is the man. Number two of the 12 things that I've learned from Hardstyle Kettlebell Training is the Kime. Understanding the explosive nature of kettlebell training. And it comes from the martial arts world. So how can we apply this when it comes to kettlebell training? The beautiful thing about Kime is that you learn to tense your body. And Louka calls it tapping into your strength reserves. And I see with the work of our clients, this is not easy to do. So for example, tension means being tight. And when we talk about the Hardstyle swing, it is this beautiful, explosive kick that I can't even do with the 16 or else the kettlebell will fall right outside of my hands. The Kime mentality, something that I believe is missing when it comes to kettlebell training and kettlebell sport or even in other genres. This is where the Hardstyle mentality comes in, the philosophy of tapping into these strength reserves where you're able to tense all the necessary muscles and get that feedback that really explodes. And I've talked to Dan John about this idea of explosiveness, which may be hard to quantify, but he said from experience, doing exercises explosively can help in many areas, especially when it comes to performance. Number three are swing differences. I have to make a separate video about these swing differences that exist. When you're doing the Hardstyle swing, you tense your lats, so you go down in that strong hinge. You got both hands connected to the handle. And so once you're down, you use a lot of force to come up. So when you come up, it is this acceleration that's happening from behind. And once you're on top, the kettlebells afloat. When we take a look at the hand-to-hand swing or the typical Good Boy sports swing, which I'm always saying there is no Russian swing because the Russians don't swing. They use the backswing, yes, but they don't swing per se. So in that case, you see the softness is completely different. I'm combining the Hardstyle with the sport ideology in the hand-to-hand swing. So I go like this. I use a lot of tension, but I'm still in that softer spot. So understanding these swing differences helped me to develop the hand-to-hand swing and elevate it to the next level. Number four, tension and safety. Now, with the softness of the sport style And I want to make it clear, when I'm talking about the kettlebell sports style, it's just the ballistics. Every exercise that works with the ballistic element, this is where I apply the sport methodology. However, Hardstyle taught me that the tension is very important in your abdominals. I'm understanding now, no matter whether you're doing a clean, a swing, or a snatch, you have a lot of acceleration and velocity that's coming from the posterior chain. So once you're on top, boom, you have to be a little bit careful. As Stuart McGill points out.
Let's take a master of kettlebell lifting, Pavel Tsatsouline, a good friend of mine. I've known Pavel for 20 plus years, and he's uses and develops the hardstyle, the Russian hardstyle of a kettlebell swing. He actually flexes his spine into a kettlebell Kime, and that was exactly what Bruce Lee used in the 1-inch punch to develop kettlebell Kime. That was a strategy to stiffen the spine and engineer out shear. So when you kettlebell swing, it starts out as a compression to shear ratio, as you would pull in a deadlift. But as you pull the kettle through the top of the arc, you suddenly get more shear load and less compression.
So in that great interview with Squat University and one of the greatest powerlifters ever, Eddie Cohn, they were talking about spine safety and how important it is to really use that Kime, that tension, not only the explosive nature that's coming from your posterior chain, but also the bracing. And this comes from Dan John when he said, what I'm practicing with my athletes is not only the part that they need for acceleration when it comes to throwing, but I also teach them a reverse throw. I want to train the brakes for the movement. The tension of your spine and bracing your abdominals, no matter what kind of exercise you do, you want to make sure once the kettlebell's afloat, whether this is the swing, the rack, the clean, or the snatch position that the kettlebell travels to, you want to stay tight because there are shear forces working on your spine. You have to imagine this is your spine column. So when you go into the backswing, it moves back. And then you come forward, boom, so there may always be a slight moving of the spine, which is normal as long as it's not very extreme. But however, if you really tense and brace your abs, you can make sure that once the kettlebell is afloat, you keep your spine safe. So no matter where you're coming from, bracing means spine safety. Number 5, controlled movement. I used to rush through the Turkish get up. And I thought I was strong because I got the idea of the sport. Be efficient with your energy. Don't stay too long in the spot, go fast, and maybe use a shortcut to get up as quick as possible. The Hardstyle methodology says, nah man, relax, slow down, and use controlled movements. And controlling your movement and slowing down, especially in a Turkish get up, when it comes to rotating the T-spine while keeping your abs engaged and tight so that your lower back stays as safe as possible, means that now my Turkish get up, even my press, on my row, on my deadlift, everything has slowed down a little bit. And I'm using additional tension, additional force. So the idea now with the Turkish get up is I'm going slow. And sometimes it takes me almost a minute for one rep. So this is how I do the Turkish get up now. Toes, knees, keeping everything tight. Now my front leg turns. I make sure I'm safe. I can move my hips. I'm fine. Bracing the abdominals, going down. I'm still tight. My leg behind moves forward. I'm really enjoying the phases. Going down to them slowly. It's a complete difference. Keeping the shoulder locked. How am I supposed to feel it if I'm not going slow? Because the idea is to really bring those movement patterns, store them in the necessary motor units so I can move without having to think. So once I'm getting tired, my automated system, my habits kick in and I'm still safe. And in that great interview from Squat University with Ed Cohn and Stuart McGill, they were talking about the 10-second rep. When you go down and you go slowly, you really feel the movement. If your squat is lagging, feel the phases. Feel how everything is going down into a really nice position. Oh, now I gotta use more tension, gotta push my legs out, and so on and so forth. So slow and controlled movement for the win. Number 6, progressive overload is different in hardstyle. When you take a look at the ideology of kettlebell sport that I apply now, 4 rules. First, you increase the time, then you increase the reps, then you decrease rest, and finally you increase weight. Now with hardstyle, I believe that's the first thing you do is increase the weight. Because once you got those movement patterns down pat, and using all the tension, the Kime, your strength reserves, the weight feels light pretty fast. I can't wait for my 36 kilogram kettlebell to arrive. I have to understand progressive overload works differently. So now I'm quantifying as increasing weight and then maybe decreasing tempo, maybe even going slower. And then finally, I believe you can increase the volume. And I can see it from a very nuanced perspective now. Number 7 is the importance of the side hinge. Now, what is a side hinge? If we hinge normally, we hinge like this. All right? Boom. Hinging means I'm engaging the strongest muscles that I have, my hips. So side hinging means, especially when you do the windmill or the Turkish kettlebell or the bench press, is I understand now that in order for my lumbar spine, my lower spine, the lower part of the spine, this part right here, in order to lock this part, I have to, if I want to go into rotation, I have to understand how it feels like. So this, what I'm showing right now, is a side hinge. Okay, so if I'm going up, now I'm facing away from you. But watch as I go down. Now my chest is facing towards you. I can rotate my T-spine because my lumbar spine is safe. So understanding that the T-spine may rotate if the lower part of your spine is safe means I have to engage in a side hinge. And with the Turkish get up, so instead of going down like this, I'm now moving down like this. Can you see it? My hinge is free to move. Bracing my abs, so that means now my upper body, my T-spine, it may rotate because my lower back is safe. And now let's talk about the grinding lifts. You know what grinds are? They are hardstyle specific. You know why? Because kettlebell sport guys only do long cycle snatch and jerk. Maybe in their GPP they use some form of grinds. With barbells I see them do it mostly. Yet, these guys and these gals only do these 3 exercises. There's no Turkish get up, there's no strict press, there's no reverse lunge, there's no overhead squat, there's no goblet squat. This was like a revelation. Okay, stuff like this. Stuff like this is nothing less but more hardstyle specific. These are exercises that the Russians didn't do in the competitions. And so in order to understand these movements, especially the advanced ones, and the advanced ones I consider the Turkish get up, the bench press, and the windmill, you want to talk to the guys who are responsible for these exercises, who came up with them and are doing them with the best form possible. And that's hardstyle. And this leads us to number 9. I already talked about it. Kettlebell sport is only 3 exercises. Now, am I downplaying now kettlebell sport? Am I saying that this is stupid and now I'm more the hardstyle dude? No, I'm open-minded. I think the best of both worlds is what makes you a very versatile coach maybe athlete. When you take a look at how kettlebell sport works, and this was a revelation that I got from Dennis Vasilev. Louka didn't tell me this. I realized this through Dennis. He was like, listen, we do snatch, we do jerk with both kettlebells, and we do long cycle with both kettlebells. So that's what we do. So this was a revelation. And in order for you to understand the specificity of a certain philosophy, you gotta take a look at another philosophy and see where they differ. Number 10, simple and sinister. I have to review my review that I've put on about simple and sinister. I did it and I love it. I love simple and sinister. Not only the KISS principle behind it, keep it simple, stupid, but the combination of a hardstyle swing and the Turkish get up. That's awesome. And the combo is great. You do 100 hardstyle swings. And we do it in the Imam fashion. We do 10 hardstyle swings every minute on the minute, so that's 10 minutes of work. And we got the 100. And then we do 5 reps, Turkish get up left side, and sometimes it takes us like 40 seconds per rep, and then 5 reps with the right side for Turkish get up. And I can feel how the strength that I'm building and the explosiveness, how I can transfer this type of training into my regular routines. You don't even have to go heavy. Pavel revised his initial recommendation for weights, which I still think maybe was a little crazy, yet when you got the exercises down pat, you gotta use heavier weights, especially with the hardstyle swing, because otherwise the kettlebell, like I mentioned before, it will take off. I will implement simple and sinister into my regular routines throughout the whole year. Number 11, we're almost closing, is the hybrid mentality. I'm able to do a soft swing, right? This easy one. And this one I'm doing when I'm getting a little bit tired and still want to work with the heavier weights. I'm able to do a stronger, more forcefully hand-to-hand swing. But I'm also now able to work with a hardstyle swing. And I'm also able to work with a clean and jerk, racking it in the typical sport fashion. And then I can combine it with a straight press or an overhead squat. And that makes you so incredibly versatile. And that's the beauty of being a hybrid. You take the best from both worlds. And that's what you're getting when you like the video and subscribe to this channel. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, proper preparation for the swing. This is something that I knew beforehand. I called it the hinge ready phase. And I got this from Steve Cotter, not the description, but from Steve I got it. Always make sure that the kettlebell is in front of you right here, so you don't waste your first rep doing stuff like this. And if you've seen one of my reactions, I'm always saying this, put the bell down. What I got from Louka is hinge ready. Why would I call it hinge ready? Because if you're in a hinge, then you're ready, right? But Louka calls it the triangle or the tripod. Triangle means your feet form the bottom part of the triangle and the bell is the top part, right? That's what you're doing. And that's perfect. Perfect way to start. You see how I was able to combine the philosophy and the aspect of Louka's coaching with mine, because we're actually doing the same thing. We just call it differently, and that's the beauty of improving in any area in your life. When you listen to other people, listen to professionals, maybe even listen to people who are not always, who maybe not always agree with you, so that you can learn. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, like it, consider subscribing if you want to see more kettlebell content. And if you're looking for a kettlebell program that builds you up from a beginner to a slowly advanced trainee in the course of about 3 months, and you maybe want to combine it with some easy to follow nutrition coaching because you say, okay, I'm going to lose weight and get in shape a little bit. It's getting hot right now. Summer's coming. Then check out 90 Days of Kettlebells. You'll find the link in the description. 14-day free trial included.